up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Slayin with Radio podcast. I am your host, Radioslay. If you're not familiar with this podcast, they're very short. They're only about 10 minutes long, and we cover everything, including life, sports, video games, pop culture, current events, you name it, we will cover it here. Today's episode is something that, unfortunately, I had to go through. I never hope that anybody really has to go to, but in reality, statistics say about 50% of people that get married go through this. And today's topic will be about divorce. Um, I was married for about 10 years. And, you know, everything seemed to be fine and everything seemed to be okay throughout that marriage. And of course, towards the end of that marriage, and I remember the day that my now ex-wife came in and asked for a divorce. And it's always like a something coming out of left field or like a punch to the stomach. Or, you just don't expect it coming, right? And that's how I felt, and I really didn't know how to react. So I think that initial thing that goes through your mind is the shock of it, right? When you get that news, whether it's a divorce or something else, your mind is trying to catch up and process what is happening, what's going on right now. I know I've done a previous episode talking about the death of my brother, and it's like the same thing. It's like you're trying to figure out like what's going on. Is this real? Is this, did I just hear that correctly? And there's all different types of instances when this could happen because if somebody, if your other half asks you for a divorce, uh, you know, a lot of times that's comes with it as a negative, right? You're the one that's actually receiving that news. You're not the one initiating it. Um, you may think everything's fine and everything's happy, and all of a sudden this comes up. I know there's people on the other side of it that want the divorce. Maybe there's millions of reasons why people get divorced, right? Maybe there's no more love between you two. Maybe it's just things aren't working out. You're unhappy. Whatever it is. It's never fun to go through. And in my case, I was the one receiving the message and receiving the request for it. So it was a lot. It was a lot going through my head, and then you start, a million things start going through your mind. What did I do wrong, and what happened, what happens next. I screwed up, and there's, it was so hard to focus. So once the kind of the shock came down, then kind of like the depression part kicked in for me, where it's just like, oh, I'm useless, nobody wants me. I screwed this whole thing up. It's all my fault. And I won't get into the details on my specific situation, but those things come through your mind, right? And you feel low and you feel down, and there were times where I kind of wanted to end it all, and thinking like, I'm not worthy of anybody else or being alive anymore on this planet, and nobody will care, and those type of things. But with the help of friends and family, and just kind of pushing me through, and I've always preached this because I use this example a lot, that when you're in those low times, if you can just lean on your support system and just keep continually push through, you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it on the other end. Trust me. Um, and really just talking through it, using our support system, as I just mentioned, talking through what's going through your head. Uh, I probably repeated what was going through my mind, many times to my friends, and I can't thank you guys enough for listening and providing advice. But after those couple months, things started to get better, and then you kind of get to that next step, and that next step being, uh, you know, the new you, right? Like the new chapter, if you would. I call it like the reset button. I'm in IT, and it's the running joke, but it's true. What's the first thing to do when something goes wrong? You restart, or you unplug it and turn it back on, and it's kind of what I did with my life, right? You're kind of handed a clean slate, okay? And I was off living on my own for the first time. I've always lived with somebody, whether it was a roommate or my ex-wife, or whoever it was. I never actually lived out on my own, so that was an exciting new adventure. you know Here I am. I live with somebody else and had to compromise and work with someone else for so many years, or had to live with my parents and go by their rules, and then here I am as a single guy, had the freedom to do whatever I wanted to do, which was, it can be liberating, right? So there are bright sides to it, and it definitely allows you a good time to just find out who you are. Whether it's traveling or getting involved in some other activities that you couldn't previously, or just being on your own for that certain amount of time. You really kind of reevaluate things, find out who you are, get into some things that you may have missed out on in the previous time, where you couldn't participate in those type of activities. And luckily, in the end for me, it worked out. I got an opportunity to visit with friends, some I haven't seen in a long time. I got to travel around the country a little bit, um, and really just kind of, like I said, hit that reset button. So um, again, can't thank my friends enough for everything they did through that tough time. And you know, I don't wish it on any couple, on any married couple out there. But again, statistics say that half the married couples end up in divorce at some point. Um, but in a weird way, like sometimes it was good that it happened, because I think it tested my character. I think it built character. I use it, as I mentioned, as an example for others when they're going through a hard time. I can relate to them. Maybe not when they're going through a divorce, but just whatever it is that they're going through. To continue to push through, stay positive, keep your head up. Lean on that support system, whoever those individuals may be, and you will make it out better. I feel like I made it out as a better person through that situation. Um, Obviously, I wouldn't have met my now wife, who I love very much. That wouldn't have happened. So things happen for a weird reason. And I did feel, initially I did feel embarrassed and like, oh my gosh, I'm getting divorced. I'm one of those people. Like, I have to say that I'm a divorced person, or I've gone through divorce. But well, some of my friends have. Uh, my mom has. Like there's people out there that have. So it's not like you know, I thought I was like the only one. You get that feeling, but um, it's something that, again, that like I said, silver lining. Maybe it was a good thing that it happened, but yeah, everyone makes it out the end. It just if you're going through it yourself, whether you have, or you're, especially if you're currently doing it right now, and you maybe you're not even married. Maybe it was just like a long relationship, with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or something, or you were engaged and the engagement broke off. Just life's not over. All right, life's not over. Life's going to throw you all these weird curveballs, whether it's one of these breakups or something else, and you can roll over and just die and give up. That's the easy way out, or you can see who you really are. You can buckle down and just punch life right back in the face. Get back up and fight another round. So, and I'm glad that's what I did. I'm glad I didn't go the other route. But I'll keep saying it again. Anybody who's going through it right now, just keep plugging away at life. Keep plugging away at life, and I'm telling you, you'll be a better person at the end, and more than likely, something good's going to come along your way. Whether it's another person, whether it's another situation, um, you know, I'm almost certain something good will happen to you. But love to hear what your thoughts are. Are you someone who unfortunately has gone through a divorce? How did you get through it? Uh, you know, understand that divorces sometimes are a good thing on the other end, maybe, for whatever reason. So I'd love to hear that angle of it too. Um, please leave a comment. I love to hear your story. I love to chat with you about it. If you're open to talking about it. You can also follow me on these socials up here as well. Drop a follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to talk to me live out on Twitch, I'm available normally on Sundays from 10 to 11 Eastern Standard Time, and Wednesdays and Fridays from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we're just about out of time, so we'll catch you next time on Slaying It with Radio. Remember, guys, do something nice for someone, stay hydrated, and we'll catch you next time.